Daniel Ventura here with the Inspired Mind Now. In this video, I'm going to be talking about finding your point A, right? Finding your point A. Now, you've probably heard this before, right? They tell you to open up the map and then they ask you, what is the most important part on the map? And usually people will look at the map and they will say, the legend, you know, how to read the legend. That would be the most important on the map. And then somebody else would say, uh, the compass. The compass is the most important part of the map, right? And then somebody else might say, no, you need to find north. That's the most important part of the map. Knowing where north is, right, on the map, right? Those are really some very important things on the map. However, what is important is knowing where you're at today. Because knowing where you're at today is your point A, right? In order for you to move forward, you need to know exactly where you're at. A lot of times people are just moving and they have no clue where they're at. They're just moving. They're just like moving around and not, they have no purpose. They don't know what direction they're going into, right? So what you need to do is establish your point A. And then from there, establish your point B. So if your point A is here and then your point B is there, you know that to get to point B, you need to know where you're at. And if it's here, then you can move forward in getting that goal, right? Or, moving in that direction. And then guess what happens? Point B now becomes point A, right? And now, whatever direction that you want to get to, which is your new point B, is that's where you're going to be going, right? And so on, right? So every time you keep on moving forward, right? Once you determine your point A, you move towards your point B, and then you change your point B to a point A, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Like, it's so strange talking about that. However, having experience by looking at a map and knowing exactly where we're at and knowing where we got to be, it's pretty much the same concept. You got to know where you're at, right? You got to know where you're at. Even, especially like with your health, right? You got to know where you're at. If you have health issues, that's your point A. How do you get better, right, to your point B, right? Because point B is to become healthy, right? And, it might not be, a straight line, right? And that point B might take a very long time. It really all depends on the situation and the issue. It's the same with health, right? I mean, not health, wealth, right? It's pretty much the same concept. You find your point A, and whatever you want to move into the direction, you find your point B, and you move in that direction, right? And it's the same thing with relationship. It really is, right? Knowing where you are in your relationship. This is what me and my wife Lynn do, right? We actually rate our relationship, right? So the first time we rated ourselves from a 1 to 10. And then after that, right, once we got a relationship to a 10, we reset that and then we did from 11 to 20, right? 11 to 20. That's what we did. And you might be thinking, what do you mean? There is no, like, let's say we actually landed on 15 and 16, right? So when you look at it and you drop the 1, we're like, a relationship is based on what we said it was like a 5 to a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, right? However, our 1, we're actually at a good place, or 0, we're actually at a good place because our scale is now from, again, from 1 to 20, right? So really, look at where you are in all areas of your life, because if you know where you're at and you can determine where your point B is, then you can move in that direction rather than be in a state of confusion. A lot of times people are in a state of confusion and they're unable to move forward because they don't know where they're at, right? They really don't know where they're at. So finding out where your point A is at is the first step, right? And once you do that, determine where you want to go, and that is your point B. Anyways, I hope you got value out of this video, and I'll see you on the next video.